Everyday Linux driver here, and today we're going to go through on Blender settings. So you just downloaded Blender and you're about ready to get to learn it. So the first thing you want to do is press F4 and go to your Blender preferences and settings. Right after, get out of here, just click next and go to general. Now when you're on the screen, do your shortcut buttons F4 and go down to preferences. Okay, on interface, we are going to want to have everything that I have here. Turn your scale up to 1.15. You'll go 125. Now it just makes everything a little bigger. And text rendering, anti-aliasing. If your computer is slow, you can unclick that. Open on mouse over. I don't like that. I don't like nothing to open automatically. Okay, let's go from interfaces over here down to themes. Now, under themes, I would not change anything. I have never changed anything in this list, so I'm not even going to open anything and talk about it. Go next to viewport. Viewport, we do got a couple things to change. Okay, now look at what I got and make sure your settings exactly match mine. Interactive navigation on 3D viewport, smooth wires overlay, edit mode, clicked. Textures, limit size, turn that off unless your computer is going slow. If your computer is going slow, limit the size to 496 or 2048. I just know that because I was doing all my editing on a really slow laptop, and that actually helped me out big time. Go down over to the selection tab. GPU depth picking, make sure that's clicked. You want to use your GPU whenever you can. Same with subdivisions. Subdivisions are something we're going to use in the modifier section, which I'll go into right after this. We'll do a quick subdivision and little lesson. So lights, we're not going to switch anything in lights. Same in editing. I'm pretty sure. Let me make sure it looks just like mine. And I'm not going to open any of these. These will all be the same. And there's nothing you can change in those parts that would make your computer run faster. Animation. Here are a couple things. If your computer is going slow, we can do a couple things in this one. So zoom to frame, keep range, seconds, and keyframe. I keep range. Always make sure that's keep range. It will mess you up if you have it any other way. Trust me. And see auto keyframing, show warnings. You do not want it to be keyframing without you knowing what's going on. F curves, unselected. 0.250 is what that's. The default smoothers are continuous acceleration, and you got none. So if you're having problems, click none because that's something you can just, dumb down and still use Blender. Let's go over to add-ons, and we're going to go into the search and make sure we have BOOL installed. So type in BOOL. The bool tool, booling. We're going to click that. I'm pretty sure that everything else should be in that we're going to use so far. Inputs. Now, mouse. If you do not have a 3-button mouse, you can emulate 3-button mouse with the Alt button, I'm pretty sure. Continuous grab, release, keep all these the same. So when I'm teaching you, we all have the same buttons and stuff. Touchpad, multi-touch gestures, never used it. So to me, it doesn't matter to me, I've never used it. Could be on or off. I don't do the little pinch and grab thing. Okay, next up, orbit method. This is huge. Turntable, trackball. So turntable unless you have a trackball. Orbit sensitivity. If your sensitivity is too sensitive, you're going to want to turn that down. Or vice versa. Orbit around your selection. Make sure that's clicked because whatever you're selected, you want to be able to orbit around it and navigate around it. Auto perspective, I would do that, and we can turn that off and have everything the same size. If we press F5, I'm pretty sure, but we will go through that in a later video. Zoom to mouse position, I do that because it's easier to zoom in. I have not changed these settings yet. So, oh yeah, I'm running Windows here. Well, I guess Linux every day is not today. So let me tell you a story. Key maps. We want left, we want play, we want drag, we want immediate click, we want navigate, orbit, and relative click. Follow the rest of the settings that I show here. Make sure everything is clicked on this. Do not add anything new. Do not click into deeper menus unless I do. Have everything clicked on here. Your 2D buttons list should be all clicked on. Eyedroppers, insert keyframes. Everything should be clicked on. Do not change anything, okay? I was going to go through this a bit better, but right now it's set up the way I've learned. So if you want to change your shortcuts and stuff, that is where you would change them. So here's a very good thing. Cycle render devices. You can use your CUDA and all this just stuff. It will tell you if you have GPUs found and if they're compatible. So just look. Looks like we got nothing compatible, so we're going to go on none. Operating system, make this installation your default. Blender, make default. Okay. So only one because it was like the first program I installed after I installed Windows. Memory and limits. Undo steps. Turn this up a bit. You never know how many steps. You might want to go back. Okay. Undo memory. I leave that at 0. Global undo. That's Control Z. And don't change anything. Memory cache. I have no clue. So don't change anything. Sound. Audio and everything should be kept the way your system says. Save and load. That's what we gotta change. So save versions. This is saved by about every time that you make a save, Blender will go and make another save. Recent files. Goes back 10 recent files. And then you got your timer minutes. Auto save it. Auto saves every 2 minutes. That's good for me. We'll get into the auto run Python scripts when we get into Python. I haven't installed Python on this Windows computer yet. I have to keep in mind I'm using Windows. Show hidden files. I always show hidden files. File paths and directory. This is where everything's going to save. I like it so far, but your render output, I always like to put my render output under video renders. Yes, I don't have that there because this is a new install. New folder. I was looking over here for the new folder button. Oh, it's over here. Okay, so new folder is going to call render. So when you save your renders that you export will go here, or maybe it's your blend file. I don't know, but I like to put all my Blender files in the same spot, which will be right here. And then I leave everything else the same. Render output, video renders. We don't have an image editor, but that will be GIMP soon. Unless you use Adobe and pay for Adobe, or have a hacked version of Adobe laying around. You know, hardy har har, you pirate. And we are done for the settings. So I'm going to show you guys what that modifier I was talking about. So select your object, click tab to switch into edit mode. When you click tab, you're going to see your top menu corner, change here to edit mode. Now, we're going to see where our selection box is, and this is our toolbar. To hide that, click T. To unhide it, so I call it the T menu. To hide, click T. To unhide, click T. And then navigation menus, and I'm pretty sure that will hide that on the other side. So that's your quick shortcut buttons there. So let's go ahead and we're in edit mode because we already changed. We're going to edit this a bit higher, and we're going to use a modifier on it. Okay, guys? So how would we make that a bit taller? Extrude region. Okay, and by pressing 1 on your keypad, you can be on the top. 2 changes, 3 changes a little bit, rotates around. 5 and 6 rotates by like a little quarter. 4 goes that much around. This is all on your keypad. 7. Okay, so now click anywhere on the screen, and we're going to want to click these 4 dots. But right now we have 8 dots clicked on. So we're going to go here, see how they change colors. I clicked over here in a corner. So now we're going to go 1, 2. Okay, hold shift, click, shift, click, shift, click. Now we got that. That's technically we got that whole face, or these little dots are called vertices. Now we're gonna want to grow that whole face upwards, or whatever way you want. So click this button, and you can pull it up, or you can shift click it up. See how it grows? Your geometry grows. You shift click it. Now shift click, or shift click. Okay, now we can select this one, and we can do the same thing. Shift click. If you don't click shift, it doesn't extrude like that. Okay, cool. Now shift click again and pull it out. Okay, now boom. Now that's permanent. Now we'll grab these ones. Shift click. Oh, I was pressing control. Shift click. And bring it up. Undo. Select it again. Shift click. Bring it up to there. So everybody, how do you want to connect these two things? I'm gonna show you here. So you want to select this dot and press X for delete. Just the vertices. We're just gonna go like that. I'm gonna delete this vertice and this vertice. So shift click to select what ones you want to delete. So I'm gonna go X. Pretty cool. Okay, now press Control Z about 4 times if you did all these extrudes, or just all the way back until you go back to your original square. There, we're at our square. Now make sure you're in edit mode and go to extrude, which is this one right here, and we're gonna press shift and click. Shift click, and we just want to make it like that. That's it. That's all we want to do. And if you want to play around with the bevel, go down 2 buttons, and you're going to want to bevel it. So we're just going to want to click the top. We don't want to grab anymore, so you grab this, and then shift click again to modify your bevel action. Here, I will make it a better. Oh, we don't have a face there, so I'm just gonna Control Z. I don't know how that happened. Okay, so I'm gonna just grow this up because I just want to grow it up, and we're gonna add a modifier. So shift click. There we go. So Now we're going to press tab to go back into object mode. And click, have our whole object selected. And follow my mouse to the other side of the screen. Click this tool. This is an add modifier. Now you're going to have to scroll your mouse if you do not see the modifier called subdivision. S-U-B, right there. Subdivision surface. Oh, I think you click it, it adds it. Well, here it is, the subdivision surface. And see this button here? You add it, it makes it smoother. Basically, it's adding more dots, those vertices, more geometry. So we just smoothed it out now. That's cool, eh? Now to apply that, you're going to want to click this little check here and apply that. That's now your new geometry. So from here we could go into sculpt mode, play with some other things, because we got a lot of geometry. You always need lots of little dots to do some cool editing. Let's grab the hook. Go down and look for the hook. The hook is a really cool tool. Snake hook. There's one more thing we could go. I won't tell you yet. Now it's going a bit technical, but I'm going to snake hook some. I should have mirrored this. But I'm pretty good at freehanding some horns. Or maybe a tooth. That could be like a shark's tooth. Anyways, just a little bit of, playing around with some. So we did that. Let's go to see how it's kind of like, it's not adding new geometry, it's just stretching it. And see how this little vertice face here, it's a big triangle and these little quads. Well, there's triangles and quads, right? You want more quads than anything. See where my mouse is? This is called wireframe. Shows you what I'm talking about with the quads, and see where there's a dot. You can select a dot with the whole shift click if you want to select more than one. Actually, right now, see how it just made that bigger? I'm not in no shift click tool. I'm actually in sculpting still. So that's a hook device. Watch how the hook pulls and stretches the squares. See how it stretches? Now, if we don't want it to stretch, we can do. I'm going way too much into this right now. See, we're going to call this quits right here, and on our next one, I will show you how it will grow more geometry as you pull out your things. It's not a modifier, but it's a thing right up here that I don't see right away. Oh, tools. Anyways, everyday Linux drivers out. Sorry, I'm not using Linux today. It's Windows, but Blender's the same in both. And I'm gonna install Linux. So somebody, last time we used Kali for 6 months, and we've done everything you can do in Windows in Kali. What do you want to try next? Leave a comment in the video. Have a good night and try something new.